Hi there, my name is Steve Winfield. I'm a father in Ohio, and I'd like to talk to you tonight about marriage protection. I've heard many politicians talking about marriage protection, and I think they're way off track. They talk about protecting the idea of marriage, but none of them has said anything about protecting the marriages we already have. I know a lot of divorced people, and I don't know anybody who got divorced because some other couple somewhere was allowed to call their relationship a marriage. Let's face it. The biggest threat to marriage is divorce, and nobody's talking about it. A few weeks ago, I saw a news report that said that divorce rates are inversely proportional to household income. As income goes up, divorce rates go down. So it appears that money, financial security, can be a motivating factor for divorce. The problem is that marriage is uncertain. It's right there in the vow, for better or worse, richer or poorer. But as divorce rates have increased over the past several decades, government has responded by strengthening the child support enforcement bureaucracy to the point where it is now a guarantee of monetary support. Now, I believe the child support is important in some cases. Sometimes, one parent, often the father, wants nothing to do with the children. He's typically never married to the mother. He didn't really participate in the decision to become a parent. He never believed he was ready to have kids, and he will not voluntarily provide any kind of support for them. These kids are fatherless, and the system is appropriately used in these cases to force the absentee parent to at least pay some money to support them. The problem, though, is involuntary fatherlessness. Involuntary fatherlessness, where devoted fathers are forced out of their families and marginalized as occasional visitors of their kids by divorce courts which refuse to acknowledge or protect their equal fundamental parental rights. I read a report by Margaret F. Brinig called "These Boots Are Made for Walking: Why Most Divorce Filers Are Women." You can find that online. She reports that in some jurisdictions today as many as 80% of divorces are filed by women, and she says that expectation of sole custody is the single best predictor of the outcome of any person's decision whether or not to file a divorce. Meanwhile, the U.S. Census Bureau reports in publication P60-230 that 83.1% of sole custodial parents in America are female. I believe there's a cause and effect relationship here, that knowledge of the near certainty of sole custody and the opportunity to claim monetary support motivates many women to file their divorces. Under current family law, it's actually smart for a woman in a low-income household in uncertain economic times to trade the uncertainty of marriage for the security of the government check. But this promise of security is a divorce incentive. Because marriage is not a guarantee, divorce should not be a guarantee either. The states, for their part, they maintain this divorce incentive because they compete for federal money. That's allocated under 42 United States Code 658A, 42 USC 658A. And this rewards the states in proportion to the amount of child support money that they collect. More divorces in a state means more money goes to that state. They compete. So that program incentive, and federal policy drives the divorce epidemic. Instead, if we want to protect marriage in America, we should start by recognizing that each parent has a fundamental right to maintain their family relationships with their children. Any parent can choose to leave the family and pay support, but no parent should be able to force the other one out of the family without proof of misconduct. If divorce petitions involving children were to be interpreted as requests to leave instead of demands to evict the other parent, that would create a negative expectation of sole custody for divorce plaintiffs. This presumption could be overcome by providing evidence of wrongdoing, pressing charges, and cooperating with prosecutors. All of these are good things that we already ask victims to do. But where no misconduct exists, the divorce court should enforce equal protection of each parent's family relationships. If we do this, we will dramatically reduce the financial incentives for divorce and will motivate many parents to try to rebuild their marriages instead of tearing them down. If we're serious about wanting to preserve marriage, we must start by protecting family relationships equally for all parents. Thank you.